Subtracting integers. Before we begin, we need to make sure that we understand the integer rules. With the integer rules, we are supposed to change the sign to addition, and then we are supposed to write the opposite integer so we can add them. Once we do that, we'll follow addition rules. We'll work through a few of them together. First, 2094 minus 67. The first thing we need to do is keep the first integer, which is negative 2094. We're supposed to change the subtraction sign to an addition sign. And then we need to add the opposite. The opposite of a positive 67 is a negative 67. Please keep in mind that this is the subtraction sign that we changed, okay, and that 67 is a positive integer in the original problem. Now we follow the integer rules for adding. The integer rule says that if the two integers have the same sign, which both of these are negative, we follow the integer rule for same sign, which means we add and we use that sign, which in this case is negative. So let's go ahead and add these two together. So we have 2049, which is negative, plus 67. We add them together. We have 2,116, but because we're adding two negative fractions, our final answer should be negative. Example B. Now we have negative 403. We keep the first integer. We always change the subtraction sign to addition. That's only when we are subtracting. And then I need to take the opposite of the second integer. The opposite of a negative 177 is a positive 177. Now we're adding two integers. One is negative, one is positive. So using the rule sheet, they have different signs. I am supposed to subtract, okay? And then I'm going to take this sign of the largest absolute value. So let's go ahead and subtract these two. 403 minus 177. We cannot take 7 away from 3, so we go to the tens place. There's nothing in the tens place, so we move over to the hundreds place. We take 1 from the hundreds place, we'll be left with 3, and we take that 100 and make 10 tens. Now we're going to take away one of these to bring over to the ones place. So this 10 becomes a 9, and this 3 becomes 13 ones. Now we do 13 minus 7. 13 minus 7 is 6. 9 minus 7, 2. And 3 minus 1 is 1. To make sure we subtract it right, we can add 177 to 126 to make sure we get our starting number of 403. So our answer is 126, but I need to make sure I put the right symbol, meaning addition or subtraction. Positive or negative in front of it. Since 403 has the largest absolute value, which means it's the most units away from 0, I use that sign. In this case, it is negative. Example C, 800, I keep the first integer. I change the subtraction sign to addition. And the rules only with subtraction says that I need to write the opposite of negative 499, which is a positive 499. Now this is set up like a regular addition problem. 800 plus 499. 1,299. And since both of them are positive, the rule says that I need to use that sign. And in this case, it would be a positive 1,299. Example D. Now we have negative 90 minus 48. According to the subtracting integer rules, remember, we need to change to add the opposite, okay? So, let's get started. So I'm going to keep the first integer, which is negative 90. I'm going to change the subtraction sign to addition. And then I'm going to do the opposite of a positive 48, and I'm going to change that to a negative 48. Now I need to go back and use the addition rules. The addition rule says that if I'm adding two integers with the same sign, I need to add those and take that sign. So 90 plus 48, which I'll do on the side, is 138. But since they're both negative, the final answer will be negative.